All right, we're back. So there were some big buffs that went through, and we're going to talk about that today. We're just going to jump right into it. So I've already done the work and figured out what the override strings are for us to be able to do these new sims. So we're going to be running sims today. First, I guess we should introduce what the actual changes were. So as you can see here, Evoker, Devastation, Fire Breath increased by 10%, Eternity Surge increased by 10%. We also have Spellweaver's Dominance, which is your crit talent you take, is also increased to 230. It used to be 220. So I mean, in essence, right, like this is a 20% gain, this is a 30% gain, so it's increased by 50%. You have to think of it that way because crit damage is always 200%, right? That's just the baseline for what crit is. So it's a 20 to 30%. It's a 50% increase. And then the iridescence change, I doubt this has any real bearing on anything, but it is there. We also have firestorm damage increased by 20%. And we have lay waste increases deep breath damage by 15 and 30. It used to be 10 and 20. So we get a little extra damage on our console fights. No big deal there either. Nothing really huge about that. I doubt we're actually going to use those talents aside from just the council fights where we don't press disintegrate, but I could be wrong about that. We'll have to see. Okay, so with that data in mind, what I've done is I've downloaded Simcraft and I've found the effect IDs for these spells. So if we go over to raid bots, if you're in top gear, is if you go to where it says expert mode, and then you just slap this bad boy in here in pre-actors. And right here, you can actually use this information in your own top gear to see like if it's worthwhile for you to recraft your gear, right? Right, like what you're gonna have with this gain is this is the T29 profile with all the stuff in there, and it's at 90,355. The old one was like 86.5, something like that, ballpark. Yeah, it's a little over 4%. 4.24 is what I napkin mathed it out to. The important thing now is to figure out, okay, well, does this change what we play, right? Because our stats, we're very high haste gamers, right? Like in this profile, we are very high haste. This is like the best I could make best in slot gear go, right? With a bunch of haste. As you can see, crit rating 900, haste is at 3,760, right? So we're obviously very high haste. What if we use Eye of Infinity now? And what if we go back crit?
1 hour later.
This is with the buff. This is without the buff. So as you can see, balance causality, high crit. But you can see Eye of Infinity went up quite a bit, right? 82k versus 88k right here. I don't think this is really going to shake things up all that much. I think overall things are pretty much going to stay the same, but it did give us a good buff. I mean, we did get buffs, so we love to see that. 90k is not bad. Yeah, with the buffs, we're not looking too bad. There's varying levels between each little portion here where it goes up or it goes down. It really is that complicated, right? You can't definitively say that haste is better than crit, but what you can say is that overall haste is better than crit, yeah? If you want like a good visual for it, Bloody Mallet has a really good one. If you go to Devastation, and then you go to secondary distributions, they've got this 3-dimensional chart you can play around with, and it actually shows you all these different distributions for the different levels of stats, and the more red it is, the better, right? So you can see like where the heat is. It's all kind of towards the mastery quadrant, right? So like obviously mastery is like our best right there, yeah. But there's like different areas where it's like crit or haste can be kind of like in between there. Like all this is kind of orange, right? But like the best amount is right here. So yeah, that's it for talking about the stats. So yeah, and just in summary, basically this change is looking to obviously improve Eye of Infinity, but it's probably not going to shake up things. It's not going to make you choose different stats or, you know, have to recraft any gear. Ultimately, you can still play exactly what you're playing right now and enjoy that 4% buff and not really worry about much else. And that'll do it for today. So if you like this sort of content, be sure to like the video. And if you want to see more of this content, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.